Last time things went about as horribly wrong as they can. Well, in a way, right? They were really good potentially because of the way things ends. The sequence at the end was pretty cool, and having us get like caught and detained here is pretty nice also because it leads us into likely having one of these other panicked mental states that allow us to transport in time that will be more beneficial likely for us. But it's bad because if that isn't the case and they take us, then it's bad. So we're going to remain optimistic about it, but it did put us in a really rough spot. Assuming we're going back, that seems to be the direction we're being led. What does that mean? Like, is it beginning or end of episode 1, like beginning episode 2 timeline, or is it after the death of Kaio and everything already happened, or is it a different period? Like, my guess was like, what if they do some weird thing and we go back to like before the mom was gone and like they just let him redo these different moments and stuff. I don't think that's going to happen though, but I think that something like that can be cool. I don't know. We'll see how they play it out. Hopefully you enjoy. If you like it all, like and subscribe now to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Let me know in the comments. Zero series and go with the 7th episode of Erased. Coming with us, buddy. Well, if it isn't you. Or has his ends too, like literally at the scene of every crime. When discovered, of course. No, of course he's gonna be at the scene. Something only you can do, brother. Mentally force it. Imagine it just didn't work. It's just standing there screaming. But it did. The aspect ratio changed. Huh. Different timeline though. Or different time. We don't have to repeat all of the hard work that we've come into. Gotta promise it. Yeah. Now you're telling yourself that. We don't know that. But he seems to feel it, so it makes sense. I'm interested how they're going to handle the it's him. Does he mean in the sense of like, I physically just saw this person with the scene with my mom? Or is it I recognize you from just who you are? If it's that and they go without telling us, I'm going to feel a type of way. Like, not a good way either. Even if it is fairly obvious from how I feel, I think it's still something that needs to be said and not leave us kind of left wondering if the main character himself knows. But if he doesn't know and he's just recalling it from the other sequence, it's plenty fine. The bullet is a little crazy there. I'm starting to get a little concerned. The swap to man. Noted. Happy to see you again. See everybody's still alive and well. The leap year. Maybe we should talk to Kenya a little bit.
サトル、先に言っとく。ここんとこ、なんていうか本気のお前が見えてさ。俺、嬉しいと思ってる。以前のサトルは他人に全く関心ないくせにあるふりしてたろ。それはそれで
Actually found their reason for that though now.
今のサトルが好きだ。でも、俺は自分の中に湧いた疑問の答えが欲しい。サトル、お前は誰？俺にはさ、サトルが別人になった。いや、別の人格が加わったみたいに見えたんだ。
He's switching with someone.
俺がサトルの変化に気づいたのは、サトルがヒナズキのことを見てた日だ。ヒナズキの傷に俺はずっと前から気づいてた。だけど何もできなかった。俺はいつもこうして人のことを引いてみてる。
You observe, but that's it. We don't get involved.
俺にはまるでこうやるんだっていう意志がサトルに入り込んで、俺を叱ったように思えたんだ。サトル、お前は何者なんだ？
俺は
正義の味方
Yeah,
になりたい人。
but set it into motion.
やっぱお前サトルだ。ケンヤ、ヒナズキは殺される。虐待の現場を見たんだ。次は絶対に止めてやる。サトル、正義の味方ってさ、結果が出たからなれるってもんじゃないよ。お前はもうなってる。協力させてよ。俺もなりたいからさ。
An inspiration.
嫌いだったよ。でも逆に惹かれるとこもあった。おー、なんとなくわかる。
サトル、ケンヤ、バケツ持って廊下。
So you're just gonna go have your conversation.
正義の味方って貧乏くじ。
知ってた。明日3月1日はひなずきを公園で一人にさせなければ大丈夫。問題は3月2日、バースデーパーティーの日だ。
It's not even just that, too. It's like the fact that you're likely gonna have to stay with her literally every day.
ユウキさんのお父さんの部屋って1階？
うん、大通りの方の角。なんで？
いや、夜うるさくないのかなとか思って。ひなつきかよと会ってる？
なんで？
Why did that panic you?
僕らのグループと一緒に遊んでるから。
そうだったのか。通りでここ何日か見ないわけだ。やったー、かよちゃん、それって最高の結果っしょ。
ゆうきさんの口から俺の前で初めて方言が出た。
That confused the hell out of me. I don't even know how to read what the hell just occurred.
なずき、ケンヤ、ヒロミ。
Thought we was waiting. Don't play a prank on us now. Oh, okay, cool.
ごめんサトル、みんなでこっち来てた。
ああ、サトル、早く入れや。
ただいま。
Let's go.
せーの。
サトル、ひなずき、誕生日おめでとう。
ちょっと俺、学校に忘れ物。今行くの？すぐいるもの？
Just gonna leave while everyone's here.
自然だろうが気にしてる場合じゃない。
Yeah, that's fair. Who even cares at this point? We're speed running it though. I thought we were gonna take like a long time, or not a long time, but a few episodes of like precautions being taken.
なんだ。おい、誰だ。
これで今晩一晩は警察がアリバイを証明してくれる。
Keep an eye on her.
排除してやる。あいつをひなずきの前から排除すれば、お前さえ
Brother, that's not the route. That is not the route.
冷静になれよ。
Yeah, come on. Lock the fuck
死ん
in.
じゃったらまずいだろ。もっとまずい
Making things even worse.
お
Yeah.
前が裁かれていなくなることじゃないか。この2日くらいお前をつけてたんだ。お前はひなずきを助けることに必死だった。だから危ないって思ったんだ。サトル、ここに来る前も何か物騒なことしてたろ。あれは何？
We're on rocks.
あれはまた別で、あの家に警察を呼びたかった。
Panic.
あの母親の虐待を止めるために警察を動かそう。サトル、大騒ぎになるかもしれないぞ。望むところだ。ちゃんと結末まで考えて。
Maybe that's something we need.
今思いついたんだ。それはこれから考えるよ。事件になってもいい。途中で見つかってもいい。
俺は裁かれたって構わない。
どんな結末だろうと。ひなずきが死ぬよりはいい。
Including yourself, though?
捕まるってオチはなしにしろよ。母ちゃん悲しむぞ。いや、うちのお袋ならきっとでかしたって言うと思う。おお。
Depends. I don't know if she'd be so proud of you for the methods that you were about to use.
今回はジャケットと軍手を忘れずに家を出た。
今からお前のこと誘拐するけどいい？バカなの。うん。
Yep,
これ
exactly.
しか思いつかなかった。
The only way I know.
いいよ。そう言ってくれると思った。もう使われていないバス。泉省のアイスホッケー部の部室だったんだって。よ、来たか二人とも。うん。本当に大丈夫？ああ、去年もう一台バス入れてから物置になってるってさ。
Freezing the.
すげえ。すごい。かなり上出来な隠れ家だ。
It is
ここ
cool.
に住みたいくらいだよ。ここには風呂ないけどね。でかい家に住んだから幸せってわけでもないさ。
No, sir.
じゃあな、ひなずき。俺は一旦帰るけど、夜中に戻ってくるよ。3回ノックするから。
ありがとう、サトル、ケンヤくん。
礼はいいよ。友達だろ、かよちゃん。俺たちが必ずかよを守るから。
How sweet. Although I would be nervous if somebody was lurking for her.
すげえ照れくさかったよ。ケンヤだってかよちゃんって。うん。ひなの方がいいな。かよはサトルだけ呼べよ。それに、まだこっからだろ。大変なのって。
Yeah, we're just getting going.
もし今回の件が表沙汰になった時はさ、知らん顔してくれよ。あ、もしかしてひなずきの母ちゃんから電話来た？いや、来ないよ。
What a thing to bring up.
俺明日早いからさ、寝てていいよ。ご飯はこれでいいから。
The least way to draw suspicion to you when you come home. Sure, buddy. It was 3. Early arrival.
起きてたの？
寝れなかった。
そうだよな。腹へんない？夏にさ、ケンヤたちとキャンプの計画立ててるんだ。かやも一緒に行こうよ。
More promises for a future that may not come.
起きろ。朝だぞ。
We live another morning. Look at you two.
寄ってよかったよ。泉省のやつが投稿してくる前に出るぞ。
かよは遅刻か。
ひなずきの母親、もう通報したかな。まだ探さないんじゃないかな。
ひなずきと俺たちの他にも、ひなずきの母、犯人の行動が大きく変わっている。この先は未知の領域だ。
Now we have to pay attention from 15 perspectives here.
はい、お願いします。
僕はどんな形でも頼ってもらえて嬉しい。
We might need you.
でも8時まで
So you might be next.
かやもごめんな。 こんなとこ閉じ込めて。
ううん。こんなに楽しいのは初めて。
That's the saddest
元気
thing.
出してきてよかった。
明日の朝かよんち寄ってくよ。母親が通報せざるを得なくするか。
バカなの。私が言いしっぺでみんなが協力してくれたってことなら。誰もお咎めないっしょ。はい、上がり。本当だ。
In what way?
帰り道ケンヤがサトルにはあの発想なかっただろと言った。
Maybe I'm not understanding what they're talking about, but that does not make sense to me.
俺にとってのヒーローってそんなやつだよ。
サトルかな。
He didn't knock. Yeah. We're gonna find you. Another revival leads us back to the past, this time further along progression already, so we can skip all the small talk basically and get right to business. A lot faster of a pace than I think I was anticipating. I thought we would probably have another couple episodes of like setting the traps almost and laying the groundwork for what we're anticipating and planning to do, but they instead decide to speedrun it and get right through it this episode, leaving us on a direct cliffhanger of almost feeling as though that might be the guy we're after waiting right in front of the bus. But who knows? That's yet to be seen. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. First thing I want to bring up is the conversation towards the end where they bring up their sort of plans. Doesn't make any sense to me. And if you can explain it in a way that does, that I would appreciate that. I went back and watched the sequence just because I was confused when it happened, and I'm still very confused. But basically, the way that it's set up and the way I was taking it, and I'll put it on screen, the scene, just so that we're all on the same exact page for where we are. This sequence right here, right? So we look at Kaio and we're like, yo, I'm gonna stop by your place tomorrow and I'm gonna let your mom know what's going on, right? That's basically what he says. But what he means by that, I'm not entirely sure. Is it that we're keeping you away for whatever sort of reason? No. Why the fuck would you tell her that? Is it that your daughter has been missing and we haven't been able to find her and you want to know what's kind of going on with her? Likely. That's the way that I'm taking it, right? So then when Kenya goes and we're leaving her mom with no choice but to call the cops, right? This is pushing the hand of, she didn't call the cops last night. Why did she not? Why is she not nervous about her daughter not coming home or like wondering any of this stuff? How can we speed that process up for them to come and like actively kind of look for her or, go after her and like maybe accuse her of something or whatever their plan is in regards to this. That makes a lot of sense to me, that would be what the plan is, right? She's not going to do it, so we're going to kind of push her hand. And it also makes a lot of sense to me she didn't call before, where in the situation before she was calling like Satoru's mother and trying to figure out exactly where her daughter was, because they literally beat her and left her in the shed. So when they go to look for her and she's missing, don't you think, you know, all these active bruises and everything that are going to be on her and her in her destroyed state, she'd be able to go report them or do something and it would look really bad for her when other people find it, versus a more on the healthy side, probably still bruised, but like nothing that's like immediately just occurring. They don't have any reason to, you know, be concerned about where she is, and clearly they have a sort of feeling towards her that they don't necessarily care about her, right? So this doesn't bother her that she ran away in any sort of way. Now we skip to the next line where he's like, I'm gonna take responsibility for this, and then Kaio's just like, yeah, but if we just say it was my idea and you guys helped me out, then we all get away. In what sense does that work? Like, where am I missing that? If we just say to who? If we go to her mom and say it was her idea to what? To run away? Why are we telling them that? What does that accomplish? Nobody needs to take the fall regardless if you just ask where the daughter's been and put your hand a little bit to make a report or to do something with that. But that's where I might be missing this, right? There might be like other context or something I'm just not getting or misremembering. But I don't think so, because even going through the sequences that happened before this, we literally just bring you here. Sorry for locking you up. And she's like, nah, I've been having fun. And then that's literally it. There's no context that comes before it either. That I don't know. This sequence just makes no sense to me. I don't get their reasoning. And I don't know if it necessarily is going to be that important, especially if somebody's going to show up at the end and do something to her. It literally isn't going to matter because we're going to be in a really bad spot after then. But something about it just feels wrong and completely off to me. Now, we're working very much out of order, but this is our end sequence, right? This is the cliffhanger that we're left on to anticipate who the hell is showing up, right? We have expressed at numerous points, this is the knock that we're going to do when we show up, so it has to be one of us. This doesn't look like a child to me. We saw Satoru standing in front of this earlier. He was tiny. He was not this size. So this looks like a full-on adult, right? So who can this be? Here's a variety of people that I'm beginning to suspect, right? One, we early morning went and talked to the mother, and this is her for whatever reason. I don't know if I'm going to buy that, but that's what I'm thinking that could be a case, I guess. Two, it's Satoru's mother, which could potentially be the case. She's been a little observant, right? She watched him as he ended up, or at least was aware of the fact that he left super early in the morning. Probably wanted to see what he's up to and where he's going. We know there's a lot of snow around. They made a heavy point on showing one of the shots where there's footprints that are kind of left behind, and they talked about how they detected that with the actual murder before. Wouldn't be surprised if we're going down something like that and people can retrace the steps, which also applies into the next step of if that was the teacher, who's the suspect, I think primarily coming from me at least, he would easily be able to trace footsteps and do all that, which then would lead you into wondering, how does he know the whereabouts and why is he even coming here? And that's just a big, I don't know. A few ideas, I guess, that I would have would be, we can't put it past the fact that he's simply just following us or keeping an eye on people and kind of aware of what's going on and where everyone is. We can't put that past us because we literally had Kenya doing it this episode, and unless he appeared at certain moments, we had no clue that he was following. There was no like suspicious presence, like kind of lurking in the background, according to, I guess, the way that we should feel or Satoru did. So there's no reason, I think, that we should be like, yo, he couldn't have been doing that, right? I think it's logical that he could be if he was keeping his eye on them, which, I mean, he even is going to, because he knows exactly how close they are to Hinazuki. So why the hell would they not, right? Like, let's be real. Another one could be, we're still not going to forget about the conversation he was having with Kenya at the end of one of those episodes that seemed a little suspicious. Might have not been, but very much may have. Potential like accomplice scenario where I don't think Kenya's that sus, but he does have things that I can see why are extremely suspicious. His maturity for his age, his ability to kind of like latch onto things, his approaches that he takes of sitting back and observing and analyzing everything as opposed to actually just taking charge and attacking it head on is kind of how Satoru is here, going on the aggressive. So I wouldn't put it past the fact that he's working with him in some sort of way. I don't know why or what he would get from it. Have no idea. But couldn't put that past it, that he's able to sell him out for whatever reason. Like I said, the footprints are still active and fresh. Potentially it's just some rando that was just lurking by and was like, yo, there's some fresh footprints here. Let me see what's going on. And then I guess the only other person that really comes to mind ends up being Yuki, which had a very strange reaction this episode. And I don't know what the hell was going on with that. I don't know the way I should be feeling. I don't even know if I can begin to build a case towards it. I'm just going to say that it's not him because they keep telling us it's not him, but that could be the perfect way to throw us off. So I don't know. More of this, it's him. I talked about this earlier. Is it just, it's the same person that I encountered before, or is it, I actually know this person? I think it's just the, I encountered this person before, because if it's I know this person and it was the teacher or something, why would he not have made note of this already in the past, you know? And we respawn at this point, which is a good thing. I actually like that we're doing that. I like that we're not going all the way back and having to build back up from nothing. I like that we're just kind of taking off where things almost left off in a way. And I think it narratively just works a lot easier for the, the author to do. This is the final revival. Does he mean that he just has no clue if he's going to be able to trigger it again if he ends up coming back? Is it more of I'm trying to hype myself up and tell myself this is the last time because I'm going to do it, or apply more pressure to myself to make sure that I don't mess up this time? And does he know something that we don't? I don't know. But I don't think he actually does. I don't think he knows anything, to be fair. I think he's just saying that because he has no clue if he's going to be able to go back at any point. The maturity a little bit coming from him and his approach and how he acts. We're seeing it visible throughout the episode before his encounter with Kenya even occurs, and the conversation with them. So Kenya's suspicious for bringing up the multiple, the swapping of places and personalities, or like different people, and then questioning that on him. I think that's just more of a lead and a setup directly into this conversation that references like, you don't feel like the person I once knew. Makes a lot of sense, but at the same time, shit, maybe he's involved in doing some sort of fucking time travel shit like we are too. I have no idea, but I like that he's sitting back and he's observing and doing his thing. Talk on Hero is fun too. The reactions of everybody when they come in late and then having to stand out there holding the buckets. Conversation with Yuki's just so weird. Do you know her? Why is he panicking when we ask her that? Like, we're happy and thrilled that she's got some friends and, she's doing good, but like, isn't that all weird? We're all hanging out. We changed things slightly, but it doesn't really matter because there's a large endpoint, a node that we need to cross that isn't being crossed just yet. Satoru decides to go crazy. He sets the groundwork, which I think is nice to be able to have these sort of alibis for the people that are being suspected a little bit later, but his decision to be like, I'm going to take her out is kind of a crazy flip. Not a smart thing, which Kenya absolutely brings him to his senses of letting him know you're just making it worse. Think about those that are close to you and around you. And this isn't the route that we need to actually take, which 100% is. As long as we know she's an awful person, but you don't gotta kill her. You don't gotta seriously injure her over this. There's got to be another way, especially as a kid here. And I like that he's able to confide in somebody about what's going on here. The episode's really cute from this point on for the most part, until we get to the end point. We all hang out, we set up, how we're going to do things here, a little hideout for us, making sure that we come back and we get to see her, making declarations of wanting to protection and everything, right? Footsteps, of course, getting to see them. The mom's clearly feeling a little suspicious about not being told and let in on everything, but once again, taking that approach of let me just sit back and observe what's going on. Go up and Kenya's here. And now we're just hiding Kaya out, which is having a lot of fun here, which is a good thing. The teacher, Yashiro Gaku, makes his call likely to home about, where the hell is your daughter been and what's going on here. At least they were hoping it's just a standard call like that. And we bring everyone together, discuss the scene already a little bit until a cliffhanger endpoint that leads us here. Nobody knocked the way that we should have. It's very suspicious. I guess we do get another angle. That's a big person, dude. That's a big dude. I have no idea. Have we seen anybody with this brown coat or this tan coat or this green backpack? What was Yuki wearing? Was Yuki have one? No, he's wearing green. No coats around here either. I don't know what he usually wears. I'm not bringing up another episode to see when they got him in the shots where he's sitting outdoors. I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with teacher, but I'm also going to stick or make my guess of that's not who is showing up at the bus. And it's just someone else. I don't know who. I actually have zero clue who. Actually, it probably would make more sense for it to be him, huh? I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see, I guess. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. That's all I'm going to have. If you liked it all, like and subscribe. Not to me, feel free to check out the video channel, make comments, visit our series. I'll be back for the 8th episode very soon. It was a great one, though.